Okay, back on here with another one of those weekly speaklies, the regular. And today, my topic of conversation will be about velocity. And it's interesting to me when I talk about velocity because we think about time and we think about kind of how fast time goes by in certain instances, particularly on the weekends, and then how slow and mundane it is, especially if you work a 9 to 5, and it's easy for certain things to become monotonous after enough time. And with velocity, particularly as it equates to the business and the projects that I'm working on, it's interesting that now, because I've taken tasks and I've broken them into three different categories, some things are on backlog, things that are real urgent and need to be done yesterday. And then I have certain things that are part of the plan, which need to be done today or this week. And then I have some that I call the thought experiment. Like if given enough time, or if, um, you know, the opportunity to expand upon something was there, if I didn't feel the burden of a time constraint, what would I actually want to work on as far as a future product? So that's almost like R&D. And what makes it interesting is that when I add velocity to it, it's kind of the challenge of new items that need to be done today or needed to be done yesterday versus what I'm getting completed. And the velocity, which is on my weekly template on my Obsidian vault, is that the velocity is measured. So I can see, am I starting more projects or am I completing more stuff that I'm starting? And kind of falling in love with this idea of increasing my velocity score is really fascinating to me. It's just something that's like a personal challenge where if you just got an endless to-do list, then it's like, oh, I'm never going to get any of these things done. But now that I have a velocity score that I'm going after, I create items, but I'm just as excited about completing things so that my velocity score can increase than I am about starting something. And then once it gets a little sticky or whatever, I just kind of push it to the side and I no longer spend any time on it. And that's kind of on the project side. I'm working in basically creating a behavioral operating system, and it's going to do a lot of things that will allow me to kind of monitor myself. And if it works good for me, then it can work for anybody. Um, and just looking forward to getting a little bit more of that part of it done before I move up into more of the consultative type sphere or space for all y'all ClickUp folks that I plan to enter. And as far as learning this week, I've been kind of in a little bit of a mode where I've been wanting to consume a little bit of information. I'm building out the system now, but I still have to learn and earn. And the book that I'm reading right now um, is called Algorithm, and it's by the former president of Tesla, and he just talks about how they use an algorithm or a set of systems that they have adopted in order to scale and increase speed at a massive rate as far as the projects that they work on and the things that they want to do. And I knew about Elon Musk approach as far as some of that stuff goes. So I thought it'd be interesting to read about it and kind of see where some of the ideology came from. And it's cool because he does refer to him, but a lot of it comes from his own experience as well. And basically, a lot of it has to do with removing constraints in the bottleneck and how to get better at getting better in that regard so that you can wildly exceed any expectations. So instead of having, 20% growth, you're having 20x growth. if you're good at systematically removing obstacles that prevent the throughput from being optimized. Because no matter where you are, whether it's pipeline oil or whether it's a business process, you're only as fast as your slowest constraint, or you're only as strong as your weakest link. And you'll notice there's always a lot of parallelisms between the stuff that's being said cliche and the stuff that we use on the day to day. So I found that to be pretty it's been pretty insightful so far, and I'll probably speak on it at the end. But I normally try to knock off about 100 books. I try to do a binge a year, but it's slowed down for a lot of different reasons over the last couple years. But I feel like that pace is coming back, and it's going to be real interesting this time too, because now that I have adopted my PKMS system, which is Personal Knowledge Management System, using Obsidian, and as some people start calling it, the second brain, the ability to acquire this information, store it, or the common phrase for it is called CODE, which is the acronym for capture your information, organize it, distill it, and then be able to express it later, is going to be very, very fascinating, with more and more information and the proliferation of information coming out. I mean, granted, 90% of the information is garbage, but if you are swift with your ability to sift, then you can get your gifts. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I hope y'all have a superb Sunday and a wonderful work week. Later.